Hi everyone. Today let's do a quick pre-market update and take a look at a few stocks I got asked about. One of which is BABA. You can see it's been falling pretty aggressively after a huge spike right into a zone of support here. Potentially this session, if it holds, that could be an interesting buying opportunity. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. So looking at the SPY charts here, you can see we're continuing to fall a little bit more after hours and pre-market, basically still downtrending below all the EMAs and SMAs. They're also stacked here now on the hourly, 9, 21, 55, VWAP to the upside. Everything says this should fall a little bit more. Momentum still bearish, RSI still bearish, waiting to see if this falls into the trend around that 589.50 area. Really the same thesis as yesterday's video, still looking at this to continue a little bit lower into this consolidation back here from the 6th in the pre-market before we catch a little bit of a bounce, in my opinion. I also wanted to highlight the Russell here. So looking at the Russell, you can see we're back into this consolidation from Wednesday up until about the Friday session before we had this kind of consolidation higher. Then we broke back down into this range. So right now, still looking at 235.04 as your support. That was kind of the low of this consolidation. Realistically, 235.80 might be a zone of support, but we're in the same range. It's actually slowed that falling action that we saw in the after hours yesterday. Did move a little bit lower, but not by much. We're basically at the lows of the session at this point. Momentum gaining strength, RSI gaining a little bit of strength. Need to see it get above the SMA there. Hasn't done that quite yet, but it's slowing down. Seems to look a little bit better in the pre-market than it did in the after hours yesterday. So looking at BABA, like I mentioned, you can see the big spike up here, clean break above the trend, very powerful continuation. If you zoom out here, you can see some levels, really nothing major right here. You can see maybe some consolidation here back from July of 23, but realistically, it looks more like you're testing the tops back from May of 24, which is right in that same range. You can see 88.50, the very top of that range is 90.50, which is right in line with the trend line here. So you can see that's a zone of support. Seems like we're retesting that area now. It's bouncing a little bit in the pre-market. Let's look at it on the hourly chart. Still very much a downtrend on the hourly. Getting a little bit of a move into the pre-market, but it's been doing this here. You can see it several times. Gap up, fall into the pre-market, gap up, fall into the after hours, pre-market yesterday, and now we're falling a little bit more into the pre-market. I would leave this alone until it gets into that 90.50 area. That's what I'd be looking for. Once it hits the trend line, we're going to see if it catches some support. This is a really choppy chart. Want to see it flip these conditions here on the hourly before I would do anything with it. Like I said, this is a key zone. Absolutely could do it based on the daily. And jumping out to the weekly here just for a moment, see if there's anything. A little bit of support back here, December of 22, right in the same area. Again, the highs back here from May of 24. So this is an interesting zone. This is a powerful move, and I do think it will catch a higher low. The question is where. Again, I would be a little bit patient watching for that 90.50 area. Next up, we got Unity here on the weekly chart. This is a medium to long-term downtrend, still very much bearish here. You can see very long move. Back up here was up in the 200 area all the way back in November of 21. Since then, we've fallen into the $19 range, so much lower. You do have an opportunity to hold the 21-week moving average. So far, the week's been pretty bearish, 6.5% or so. But that 21-week is down at 1850. That's an interesting zone. If it holds that 1850 level, maybe we can get the continuation breakout of this trend. Right now, watching this trend line established between December of 23 and this current kind of topping formation, you can see hit that level, established it, and then we retested it multiple times, continuing to break down here. Looking at it on the daily chart, this looks a little bit more like a bull flag type setup. Kind of give that a little bit of structure. If you add a lower trend, we're kind of at it. So you got the 144 EMA on the daily, 1910 is that level. Momentum still bearish, RSI still bearish, still big selling volume on those 3 down candles. So potentially going to overthrow it based on that, but it has been holding in this zone. 144 EMA continues to hold this support. Resistance currently that 200 at 2178. If it bounces, maybe you see a rally back up into that zone, but realistically the 1850 level from the weekly chart makes sense to me. That also kind of pulls you back into these previous highs. I have a level from this kind of consolidation top at that 1787 level. Again, might find support here. 1850 seems like a more important level. And then the tops here. This bottoming formation does look pretty good with the bottom here. Tried to break down back into the consolidation, break up. So this does look like a nice bottom. Trying to break out, hitting these upper resistances, pull back, higher low setup. Want to see that higher low and then continuation higher. think it could go, but it is still fighting those medium to long-term downtrends, critical zones of support. But even if it did break down from here, I would expect this previous consolidation to hold. Moving over to CleanSpark, this is a company I've never heard of, but the chart does look a lot better than the Unity chart. You can see we do have a medium-term uptrend. Since December of 22, it's been going higher with higher highs and higher lows. You can see a little bit of a consolidation here, breakdown, which is a little bit concerning, but we held the trend once again after holding it here and here. So momentum bullish, RSI bullish. This chart looks much, much better. In the pre-markets, falling just a little bit, hitting this zone of resistance. I didn't have anything on this chart, so this is all added here fresh this morning. 1790 is kind of this consolidation midpoint. The high of the consolidation would be that 2254 level. That goes back to the high back here from November of 21. That's why I added that level. So lows, support, trend around that 1027, which very wide-ranging bars. So you're up here at 1760, 1680, somewhere in there. Your support's all the way down at 1050, so that's a pretty substantial down move of about 40%. You can see these last two candles, very powerful, 31 and 29%. So not for the faint of heart, very, very wide ranging candles on this weekly chart. Zooming into the daily, you can see that zone of resistance, consolidation. We're back into this high volume area. If it can get above and hold, you can look for a push to 2254. But right now, again, falling in the pre-market, super overbought here on the daily chart, probably going to pull back, and then that would give you your buying opportunity with the higher low setup from this if it's going to do it, which it seems like it will. The medium term is very bullish. You do want to see all of the short and medium terms in the same direction, and they are here definitely. Everything looks a little bit bullish. You can also see kind of a left shoulder head, right shoulder, get the continuation up. You did get the clean break of the neckline, so doing everything you would want to see if it was going to flip bullish. The only concerning part is down here on the hourly chart where you do have a fake out breakout here, consolidation, tried to regain the momentum, couldn't quite do it. Now we're falling in the after hours yesterday, falling a little bit more in the pre-market. I'd be watching for that 55 EMA down there at 1524. Interesting zone right there. Momentum bearish, RSI bearish on the hourly chart, pretty much like everything else in markets. Very powerful move over the last couple days. Consolidation, a little bit of falling price action here. So short term, a little bit bearish, probably watching for about a 9% down move. Again, very, very wide ranging. Be patient. Also control your size depending on how you're trading, but definitely looks like it's going to move a little bit lower. But over the medium term, I would expect this to go higher. And lastly, for this video, I just wanted to highlight that the CPI data just came out, and you can see everything was in line with expectations, and markets are liking that here in the pre-market. Just about everything is up. So CPI data calming the fears around inflation, and markets are flipping a little bit bullish in the pre-market. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the charts, what you think of those specific stocks. Are there any stocks you want me to take a look at? Put it down in the comment section. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.